Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the FearFans podcast. I'm your host, Don Elmy, and with me is my co-host, Nick Muley. And so we are wrapping up the original Nightmare on Elm Street a series with the 1994 chapter called Wes Craven's New Nightmare. So, yeah, what they said about the final nightmare turns out that was just a lie. And but this one is like extremely unique just because of how meta it is.
Yeah, it's been quite a number of years since I've watched it, so I've kind of lost a little bit of it, but I still remember quite a good portion of it, though.
Oh yeah, because this
What's
one
up,
like
Jeremy?
oh hey Jeremy, and oh hey Mr. Nice Guy, thank you for watching. And so this actually like pays a lot of homage, like a lot of references to the original Nightmare on Elm Street, and yeah, throughout. Like if you, it's like you just gotta look for those. Some of those are like just they're thrown around here and there, but yeah,
Yeah,
this takes place in an alt. So this film, the whole premise of it is it takes place in a alternate reality where it focuses on actress Heather Langenkamp, the star of the first and third movie, for her role as Nancy Thompson, the hero, and how she's having nightmares about Freddy, and turns out that this is a much darker version of Freddy, who is actually an entity taking the form of Freddy and is trying to get out into reality, out of the movies.
yeah. Sounds a little bit. I don't know why, but got a Ring reference from that for some reason, even though that was made before the Ring and even before Ringu.
Oh yeah.
It's just kind of funny. It's kind of makes you wonder: did that somehow serve the inspiration for the Ring movies?
Not sure. Could be. Like it makes you wonder like what's going on with with the world in this. Like is that real, or it makes you question what's real in the film. Like
See, one
it's
homage I really liked was when Freddy had Dylan like a puppet going through traffic, very much like Nightmare 3. But the guy whose tendons were used like a puppet.
yes, it does have several throwbacks throughout the franchise, but for the most part, it's like for the first movie. And so this was released in October 14th, 1994, 10 years after the original film. And I just love how they have not just Heather Langenkamp like playing herself in this, but also several other crucial names in the entire franchise, such as Wes Craven himself, the man
Yeah,
himself. Yeah,
that's cool that he's playing himself in that movie.
Yeah, Robert England playing him, not only playing himself but also playing the new Dark Freddy Krueger. And
Oh, hello, William. Good to see you.
hello, William. Thank you for tuning in. Yep, tonight we are covering Wes Craven's New Nightmare, one of the most meta films ever. And so this is about 10 years after the original Nightmare on Elm Street, like I said, and where like like I said, multiple people coming back playing themselves, like Robert England, playing himself, and let's see, also Robert Shea, the founder of New Line Cinema. There is one scene where he's in, and this time he's not playing a bus ticketer like in Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare. Yeah. Even Wes was in the movie. Yes, that's true, Mr. Nice Guy. And,
Wait a minute. Wait, where are you? It's StreamYard's happening again. Jeremy told me about this. Are you getting more comments showing up on the side? You're getting those?
yeah, I'm
Okay,
getting,
because for some reason it's happening for some people, but for me, I'm not. I can't see those comments. Unfortunately, it's like StreamYard just freezes on one person's side, like especially if you're actually under the account. I mean, it's going to show up eventually. It freezes, and I don't see any more comments until they just all come out. I don't. Yep. See, they will all pop up at one time. It's some new. Jeremy's had that issue. It's like yeah, happened to Clarissa on her show today. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, there's like a issue of some sort that's going on with StreamYard. Okay. Yep. Now they just showed up. Now I can see them.
that's strange.
Yeah. I mean, it only lasts for like a minute, but for some reason whatsoever, it's one host will be able to see it, but somebody else on the other side won't for at least a minute or so. It's just, It's really weird. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Man, the internet.
Yeah. Well, it's more of StreamYard than the internet.
Well, yeah. And so, like I said, this film is basically an alternate reality, like where the Nightmare on Elm Street movies exist. And Heather Langenkamp has a family now, living in L.A. and has a son named Dylan, who, fun fact, is played by Miko Hughes, who we have covered a little bit of him on the podcast before, because when we covered Pet Sematary, he played Gage in that film.
That's right.
So.
It's punishing me for not being blue. Okay, very quickly, what he's referencing right now about it has nothing to do with the movies. When I was doing Nick Files on Wednesday, like how I usually do, like how I've done some of the shows on my laptop, right?
Right.
For when I do StreamYard on both my desktop and my laptop, I don't know if you do this with your web pages, Don, but I usually like to keep my page dark mode, so it's not so bright on my face. But for some reason, something went wrong with the website. And when I went on live, I couldn't switch the page to dark mode. So as a result, when I was going live, because of all the brightness that was going on my face, it gave like this bluish tints on my. If you go on the previous episode of Nick Files, you'll see it. I look kind of bluish. So ever since then, there's these jokes now about me being blue.
You're blue, dabba dee dabba die.
I mentioned about that song too, and of course, Jeremy also started calling me Papa Smurf.
Yeah. No. I know what's going on here. You're auditioning to be part of the Blue Man Group.
You know what? You just took the words right out of my mouth, because you know what I was going to say? I remember that Simpsons episode when Homer was being arrested. If anyone wants to know where I am, tell them I joined the Blue Man Group. I'm the fat one.
Classic.
Oh, no, that wasn't Jeremy. That was somebody else. My mistake.
All right.
Sorry, just had to throw that out since he brought that up.
Okay. Well, anyway, so yeah, like I said, Miko Hughes is playing Heather's son, Dylan. Who Miko Hughes, we have covered like a bit of him before in Pet Sematary when he played Gage, and it's nice to see that even 5 years after that film, he can still play a creepy kid.
Yeah, just not a malevolent kid this time, though. Well, there are some nightmarish scenes involving him being malevolent, but for the most part, he's not that type of kid like he was in Pet Sematary.
Oh yeah, because the difference is like he can be creepy in a few moments, but he never kills anybody in this.
See, Jeremy just made a good point. For as young as he was really good with the horror genre. He really was.
Oh yes, for sure.
He's got to be like in his 30s now, Don, or late 40s? Oh, excuse me, no, not late, early 40s.
Probably early 40s. He'd be older than me.
Be older than 37.
Yep.
Okay. Late 30s.
Yeah, I knew he'd be older. Yeah.
Nick of the Smurf. Oh boy.
Oh Jesus. Oh man. Yeah. So the whole film starts off with a nightmare involving which is paying homage, like the opening scene pays homage to the opening scene from the first movie, when he's building the razor glove. But this time it's revealed that when supposed Freddy cuts off his hand to put on this new razor glove, it's all taking place on a movie set for a new Nightmare on Elm Street film. And Heather Langenkamp has brought her son Dylan, on set, because his dad works as a effects engineer, for the film, and then she's constantly covering his eyes for gory parts. And I'm just thinking, Heather, if you didn't want your son to see gory scenes, then maybe you shouldn't brought him onto a film set that's making gory scenes.
Yeah, exactly.
This new razor glove, it starts off as just a metal glove, but later, when they actually show this new Freddy, this much darker, this much more terrifying Freddy, much more serious than ever, It has like a razor glove that's like a bi-organic kind of a look to it, and it has a thumb blade to it, so 5 blades instead of 4. Oh,
Right.
oh, sorry, hang on.
Hey, is that your phone?
It's a spam risk. Those guys, I block their numbers, and those guys just can't seem to take a hint.
I have been getting those too lately. I mean, well, not phone calls, but I've been getting text messages saying that my Amazon account had been locked down. So I knew immediately that was all spam, and there was no way I was going to comply with it. So it just seems like it comes in waves.
Yeah, don't fall for that. It's all BS.
I know it is.
Yeah, these guys keep calling me. I'm just going to start pulling out an air horn and just setting that off on them.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. They like I said, they come in waves. Like they'll happen for a while and then they just stop. I don't know if it's because they finally get the hint that we know what they're trying to do, but still, it's like it is really annoying when they also try to make it sound real and legit as possible. Hey, we got a new viewer here. Hello, Heather from Iowa.
Hey, Heather. Iowa, great, really nice state. I once got accepted to a school there, university, but I didn't go to that one. I went to WKU. But from what I've seen that one time when I was in Iowa, it looks like a beautiful state. So
we're just like 3.5 hours away from the Illinois-Iowa border, which we are going to be going. Don, Tom, and I are probably going to be going back to Iowa sometime this year. Hopefully, you could join us if you're able to, because we're looking at some Paracons that are interested in having us over.
I'll give it some thought. I always wanted to go back to Iowa, see what that's like, and also,
hey, Jeff the Goat. Jeff the Goat is here. Good to see you, Jeff. Nice. Yes, of course, we do know you all too well. Okay, I get banks I'm not affiliated with. I get Netflix that I don't have a sub to. I get all kind of things, and I laugh because I don't subscribe to anything I've been locked out of. Oh, Heather just moved there from Nevada. Live right by Squirrel Cage Jail. Now, why does that sound familiar? Is that like a historical jail there, Heather? Or
she's saying ex murder house now.
Oh, that's Villisca, the Villisca axe murder house. Yeah, I know that story all too well. I have never been there. I've never been able to investigate it, but it's been on my list for the last couple years, and I'm hoping to be going out there real soon. Oh, it was the rotating jail. Hey, Lauren, yes, long time no here.
But ex murder house. Yeah, I heard some messed up things about it.
It's pretty messed up, and eventually I'm going to be doing a Nick Files episode on the Villisca axe murder house soon. It's a gruesome, but at the same time, one of the most notorious murder stories.
I see. Yeah, I would. Yeah, that sounds like something you should definitely cover on Nick Files.
Yep. Oh, I just looked up too quickly. The squirrel. Okay, I have to get. Oh yeah, thanks, Jeff. Okay. We really appreciate it. You have a great night. And yes, Axe Murder House has some really crazy stories too. And it also very quickly the Squirrel Cage Jail that she brought up. It's actually known as the Pottawatomie County Jail. That's in Council Bluffs, Iowa. That's literally on the other side of the state, close to the Iowa-Nebraska border. It is a historic jail, and it is rumored to be haunted.
Oh, I see.
She lives just 2 hours away. Yes, it is sad and fascinating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe we should visit there.
I definitely want to get. I mean, not only visit, I want to do an investigation because there's a lot of crazy stuff that goes on there. But yeah, it's definitely a place that's worth checking out.
Nice. And
sorry, go ahead, Don.
Okay. So yeah, like there was like it becomes in a very intense scene in the opening where the animatronic hand, the Freddy hand, comes to life and starts attacking killing 2 crew members, and oh man, it gets pretty bloody. And then they wake up from that nightmare because an earthquake is taking place because California.
Yep, that's California for you.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Yeah, and that's
the
one thing. Yeah. And that's just like Shia LaBeouf. Do it. Just do it. That's what that just made me think of.
I was thinking of Futurama with the episode with the robot elders, and they told Bender to kill Fry and
Do
Leela.
it.
They're like, "Do it, do it, do
Do
it,
Do it. Do it. Do it. Silence. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, like that's what I wanted to ask Jill about when she joins on this. Like, does she ever have earthquakes like that in California? Because they were like happening a lot in this film.
They she lives up more in Northern California. It's usually more of Southern California that gets them. However, California is not only known for their earthquakes, obviously, they also got their mudslides. Where did that come from? Mudslides and wildfires. And I actually did ask her a couple of weeks ago, because when the mudslides and all the rain and the flooding was going on, I actually checked with her to see if she was okay. And she said, fortunately, she was on higher ground. Some of it was occurring not far from where she lived, but like where her house is, she was high enough. Her house was high enough from the flood, so she wasn't affected by it. But good question, though, as far as earthquakes go.
Oh yeah, because her
house was high enough from the flood, so she wasn't affected by it. But good question,
auto delay going on.
As far as earthquakes.
Here. You got a playback going on, Evan.
Yeah, it looks like you got playback running right now.
Yeah, you might want to mute that.
Yeah, sorry I'm late. I'm having some technical problems.
Oh, I see. Well,
is there something? I'm trying to get sound, but no sound.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, I'm glad to have you on here. So, yep. We were just talking about how
it's good to see you. Good to see you guys. Hey Nick, how you doing?
Doing good. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. And so Evan, we were just talking about the opening scene and how the characters were like woken from the nightmare from an earthquake, and earthquakes are happening a lot in this film. And it makes me wonder just how bad the earthquakes really get in California, because I've been there a couple of times and never felt an earthquake there. Yeah,
I mean, there's always they always got earthquakes that occur when you very least expect it. I mean, I've been to California myself.
Well, I never had any earthquakes at all where I am.
We've actually had one earthquake in Illinois, and it was like early in the morning, and I apparently slept through it. I'm like, how the hell do I? Yeah, I'm just like, how the hell do I sleep through an earthquake? Was that
the one like from like 15 years ago or so? Or
yeah,
I actually was up when that happened.
Oh, really? Oh, we lost him.
Yep, I think it was this. I think we just lost his connection.
Yeah, he did say before he was having connection issues.
Yeah.
Damn.
Very quickly, because I don't know how you slept through it. I was that's exactly what it was. We just lost him. But I still remember that earthquake because I was actually up. It was I think it was like around 2-3 o'clock in the morning,
something like that.
So I was actually up because does the typical thing. I just had to go use the washroom and then of course grab a drink of water. And when I finished up and as I was taking my cup of water back to my room, and you have to remember this was on a school night, so I had to get to sleep. And as I'm walking down the hallway, which is just right over here, all of a sudden I could feel the brush or vibrations, like literally shaking underneath me. I had no idea what this was. I mean, you see movies and shows like you see like there's always that big rumble or roar that you hear with an earthquake. The surprising thing was I did not remember hearing any sound. I just remember it was almost like what's the way how can I describe it? It's like a kind of maybe that's the way I can really think of it. It's like it was like like when you go on an elevator and when it goes up and you feel that vibration up, it felt kind of like a little bit like that, but it felt more shaky in a way, and it literally only lasted for like 20 seconds. I mean, it really didn't last that long. And after when it was over, I'm like, did I just seriously feel an earthquake? It's just, what the hell was, I was just thinking, what the hell was that? It was just the weirdest feeling that you ever feel when it comes to an earthquake. And then when I went to school, a few hours later, obviously, they said there was an earthquake on there. That's what I felt. I knew it. It was an earthquake. Yeah, that's how it starts slow. You're right, Heather.
Yep. Because, I always, when I watched, some movies, Hollywood always likes to BS everybody about earthquakes and whatnot. It's like, you remember the movie Volcano?
I have that movie.
Oh yeah, because that's like one of the biggest examples of how Hollywood likes to be over dramatize, natural disasters. Because it's like I'm willing to bet. It's like I'll buy the fact that like LA is geologically unstable due to the tectonic plates underneath. But I can't say that I find a volcano erupting from the La Brea tar pits to be very likely.
That's the only thing that's closest to something like that would be the Yellowstone caldera. There's nothing like that. There's no, that does, I mean, what they show in the movie, that was all made up and just made for Hollywood purposes involving a volcano with the tar pits. As far as anyone or even like actual geologists are concerned, that volcano, that doesn't exist. That's just based off of the caldera from Yellowstone.
There you go. Love that movie. Entertainment, not education.
Oh, check this out. Lauren's son went through an earthquake in Guam about a year ago. Wow.
I remember when that happened.
Yeah, I honestly didn't know that Guam does, well, it is it is near the Ring of Fire area, so I could see where, much like the same way with Hawaii, it's that's a pretty big area for earthquake and tsunami activity.
Oh. Yeah, that it is. Oh, here, there was a comment here. Hold on, I wanted to get to that. Here, Lauren was saying to Jeremy that hopefully that he is doing well. Yeah, I wanted to bring this up. Jeremy, he's recovered from his surgery, and so I want to say, Jeremy, wishing the very best on your recovery.
He was on our show. He was able to do this show Supernatural Talk last night, along with also the night before Marks on Wrestling. So he was able, it was awesome to see him basically recover quickly to still do shows. And of course, I do want to say too, let's wish him also the best of luck, because he's got that second surgery this upcoming Sunday for his cheek. I mean, it's not as, I mean, yes, obviously we definitely want to be concerned, but it's not going to be as concerning as it was for his eyes though. Yep. See, he just said, eye surgery recovery is actually very good. That is awesome.
Okay, yeah, I'm glad to hear that, man. Yeah, and hey, best of luck to you on your upcoming surgery, man. Yeah.
Oh, look at this.
Hello.
Not sure how to pronounce that.
Oh no, it's upside down backwards. Void.
Void.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Hello, Void. Thank you for tuning in. And so. Yeah, let's get back to New Nightmare. So
yeah,
they wake up and like they see like news reports of like the earthquake, the damage it has done, and it turns out, as I did my research on that, the damage you see on the TV was real. There was an earthquake going on at the time when that movie was made. So,
here, tell you what. Up right here. Now he's back. Okay.
Oh.
Hey guys.
Hey. Hopefully.
My laptop isn't working, but I got an iPad. So.
Oh, okay. Great.
Hopefully, a good connection this time.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. So, yeah, right now we're. Yes. Can you hear us? Oh, is he frozen? Are you frozen?
Yeah, he's. I think the sound is not going. I mean, it's not processing normally.
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Okay.
All
right.
Welcome back, Evan.
Oh, Jeremy just wrote this quickly. Yeah, the next surgery reconstruction is more extensive. Won't be as bad as the other reconstruction surgeries. I knew that. Yeah.
Okay.
So good luck on it, Jeremy.
Yep. Good luck, Jeremy. Yeah. So, So like one of the things in this movie is that like New Line Cinema wants Nancy to come back. What?
Nick, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, yes. We can hear you.
Yeah, we hear you. Okay. So one of the issues in the film is that Yeah, Heather is like being asked by New Line Cinema.
John, Nick, can you
Yeah,
guys hear me now? Hello?
yeah, we hear you. I think he's having issues again with the audio.
Yeah, yeah, it's serious lagging issues. So what's happening, Don, is that you and I can communicate normally, but when we say something to him, it's like the sound is behind. Like he's listening to it at a further. Yep, and we just lost him.
Oh, he's out. Oh, we lost him.
Yeah, it's really hard to explain, but it's like his sound. It's like out of sync. Like it's stalling in a way. Well, no, not out of sync, but it's stalling in a way. Like you and I are talking right now at a normal speed. His speed, like when we're talking to him, it's like 30 seconds later he gets, like if you say, "Can you hear us?" It's like 30 seconds later he hears.
He's having like a audio lagging. That's been a problem for him before. Yeah, he's had that issue going on. So yeah, I feel bad about that.
I don't think it has. Well, to start off with, it has nothing to do like with where he lives. It's just the connection.
Yeah.
Because, like, as you know, we've had people like what I was doing earlier when I was on the Frighteners earlier. You know, you have Lois from Scotland, then Ian and Bry in England, and their connections works just fine. So it's not the distance.
Oh yeah, we've had where's he from? He's from Canada. I'm trying to figure out which part of Canada. I don't know if it was Toronto or what was it, Montreal? One of those places. But
okay, yeah, it wouldn't have anything to do with the distance.
Yeah, because we've had Jenny from Ireland join us on the Birds, and
we had that.
Yeah, we've had her on a few episodes. So yeah,
we've also had and of course we also had what's her name? Who lives out in Australia.
Oh yeah.
Why can't I remember her name? It's like I could see her face right now, and I can't even think of her name right now.
Oh. Well, to everybody on the Things Network, I posted the link in Facebook Messenger to join us on the studio. So if you want to join us and talk about New Nightmare, feel free.
Yeah. Damn it. So, it's like nagging me right now. I can't even think of the person's name right now.
We'll get back to that. Okay, hey, deep breath, man. We'll get back to that.
No, I know. It's annoying when you can't remember people's names for some reason.
Yeah, I hear you. But yeah, when so like I said, Heather Langenkamp, it was like being asked to brought what?
It was Nikki. That's who it was. Nikki Cameron. Yeah. See, Jeremy just said exactly what I said. Distance wouldn't have anything to do with it. Would be his provider and possibly his location on the internet line. Like if he's towards the end of the connection wire, he'll have worse connection issues than someone else who was further down the line than him. Sorry about that, Don. I just wanted to let you know on that one.
Yeah. So yeah, DJ Evan C, if you're watching this, yeah, sorry you're having issues with your connection, man. But yeah, so okay, well, let's get back to the movie.
Yeah, let's get back.
Yeah. So Heather Langenkamp is being asked to play Nancy again, one last time by Robert Shea from over at New Line Studios, and along with Sarah Richer, who was a producer of all the Nightmare on Elm Street films. So yeah, they got so many cameos in this; it's insane. But yeah, she's reluctant to because she wants to us do more TV to be with her son Dylan, and and be with her husband. But I just love the scene where she goes on this talk show. They speak to her about her career and about her experience with Nightmare on Elm Street, and they got all the audience, so like half of them dressed in Freddy Krueger outfits, and then they surprise her when the man himself comes out, Robert Englund in costume, like in makeup and everything. Yeah, Freddy Krueger makeup. Yeah, like imagine if you actually did that in real life for a talk show, just spent hours in a makeup chair just for about half hour to an hour on a talk show.
Well, wow. He has done that. He has done that in real life. If you remember, a number of years ago, he did that when he got interviewed by Sven Gulli.
Oh, yeah, I probably missed that episode, but
there's a picture. There's a picture of him. I'll see if I can find that picture just so you can get the idea.
Hey,
I mean, you
the
can
man's
still
got
talk
the
about.
man-
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go on.
Okay. Yeah, the man, I mean, for him to do that for a talk show, like that's dedication right there.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so no, I was gonna say you can continue talking while I'm looking. Yep. Okay, I just found it. This is
Yeah,
the
because-
go on, keep going, Don. Keep going.
Yeah, because what he does for the like for more than anything, like what for like when if he's ever being interviewed about Freddy, most he'll ever do is just wear this.
Yeah, well, in this case, he wears the full makeup for this. I think you're gonna like this.
Nice.
Trust me, I was supposed to go to that too, so that would have been awesome to see him in person with the makeup on. So
Awesome.
this was, I'm just gonna go from Google Image. This was where he had the full makeup on. Check this out.
Let's see it. Oh,
See
nice.
it?
Yeah.
And then here he
sweet.
was for the second photo. That's awesome. But yeah, there is an interview. There is an interview. He did interview him though. It wasn't just for the pictures.
Okay. Wow, that's cool. But yeah, so yeah, like it's just like amazing seeing like Heather Lane coming around, Robert Englund like interacting with each other, like where he's not the villain in this. Well, when he's playing, in the scenes where he's playing himself, yeah, but yeah, it's just like a weird feeling seeing them interact with each other when they're not like, in a movie where he's like, the actual Freddy. But
yeah, like not fighting and
like,
killing each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, but yeah, like one of the issues that Heather has in the film is like where she's like got this crazy obsessive stalker fan who is like calling her saying the Freddy nursery rhyme in Freddy's voice, leaving burned letters in the mail. Like, oh man, like it's crazy that people have to deal with that in real life when they get famous.
You know what? I've dealt with a few of those people myself. Unfortunately, I'm sorry to say that, but that has happened. I mean, it's. I'm gonna promise you right now, Don, that has not happened lately. But I mean, nothing to that degree like you see in the movie. But just people that just want to really stay in touch. Well, I mean, not necessarily stay in touch, but they message me a little too much, and after. When they're doing that, I mean, and when they were like saying certain other things, that's when I kind of started getting like it's nice to have like all these new friends and stuff, especially from around the world. But when you have people that are just constantly messaging you day after day after day, that starts getting not only irritating, but that also does become quite uncomfortable.
I imagine, man. But yeah.
Oh, jeez, Joanne. Am I not in bed? Joanne, yeah, it's only 9:00 over here. And if anything,
and because he's afraid Freddy's in that room.
And not to mention, if I'm supposed to be in bed, so should Don, because he only lives like 20 minutes away from me.
Oh, man. And also another reason, Freddy's coming for him.
Not if I get my sweater out. He'll know I'm one of them then.
Good strategy. Yeah, where if you want to like keep Freddy at bay, just put on the striped sweater that he has. You'll just think you're you'll just think you're with him. I'm honestly surprised no one has ever tried that in the movies.
Yeah, I know. I'm surprised too. Tomorrow night. Oh, it should be. Well, no, that's right. We lose an hour tomorrow night.
That's right.
Time
Daylight
savings.
savings.
Daylight savings. Oh my God. Don has different responsibilities, so he can stay up late.
I got tons. I certainly have tons of responsibilities.
Yeah, it's this weekend, Jeremy, the daylight savings.
Yep. That means we don't lose. Yep.
You guys go ahead, Joanne? Well, no, because ironically enough, Joanne, she also lives in Canada. So they go ahead. Yeah. Okay, I didn't know Canada goes ahead and we go back.
What? Well, no, we're
Yeah,
it's
she
spring.
said
We're going.
we go ahead.
Yeah, we're going an hour forward.
Oh, I thought we were going back. I thought we were losing an hour. I thought that meant going backward.
Yeah, we're losing an hour going forward. Daylight savings, spring forward, like Jeremy said.
I'm not smart with this daylight savings time, man. I really don't know. I'm not an expert in this kind of stuff. Yeah, fall back.
Yeah, because in fall we gain an hour, we go back. Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not an expert in this stuff.
Yeah. And so another issue in this film that Heather has is that Dylan is like obsessing with the Nightmare on Elm Street lure. Fred and Freddy. The Dream Man, that because he calls him, and he starts singing the 1-2 Freddy's coming for you. Yeah. And there was like one point where she was asking him, "Where'd you hear that song?" And I'm just like, "Where do you think he heard it?" He's been watching the movies.
Like that song never gets old or is going to be forgotten. I don't think so.
No. Oh no, that's like Freddy's jump rope song is like one of the staples of the franchise.
You cannot you just cannot associate the Nightmare on Elm Street movies without that little sing song that goes. It's just what do you call those songs? There's like a term for them. What do you call those songs? Those creepy ones? Song? No, not theme song. There's like I guess like a rhyme song. I guess I don't know what there's like a
lullaby.
Not necessarily, not really a lullaby. There's just another, like a nursery rhyme. That's the one. Nursery rhyme. Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, for those who are new to me seeing me having these blades are not real.
Can you imagine if you said that they weren't real, and then you did that, and all of a sudden you cut yourself like, "Holy shit, Doug, those are real!" You got the wrong ones.
It turns out they are real. I grabbed the wrong one. Oh man, that would be insane. Oh Jesus.
Hey, you know what? I mean, I know this is going to sound crazy, but as long as you get some bandages ready, that would be a great back scratcher. Yes, but I was going to even you know what? Even the real ones would make a good back scratcher. You'd scratch your back real good.
Yeah, back scratcher that goes a bit too far.
Well, you know what? If you got bandages and first aid ready, you know what they say. It's only funny if everyone lives.
Yeah. Good thing I just bought a first aid kit.
Oh my God. Yes. Joanne, get a fake blood bag and pierce it with a finger. Why didn't we think of that before?
No, because there's no way in hell I'm getting any fake blood on this carpeting.
Jeremy, I am not touching this. When he's saying other things, I have not touched that comment.
Man.
That would be bad. In fact, actually, no, that would be terrible. That would be, oh God, that is bad. You will be sorry if you do that. Red Kool-Aid.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that here, especially not on this carpeting. Yeah, we're not doing any fake blood effects on this podcast. I'm not doing that.
Save that for one of the trips.
Yes, for sure.
Seriously though, you could do a kebab with it.
just cutting meat like this.
Mrs. Bobbitt.
Mrs. Bobbitt. Oh my God.
Who's Mrs. Bobbitt? I don't even know who the hell that is.
Oh man. But so throughout the film, people start having nightmares about this whole new Freddy, to the point where Nancy's husband Chase is killed when he falls asleep at the wheel, and Freddy's glove, and the new Freddy's glove just comes out and just claws him right down the middle of his chest. Yeah.
Long story. Do I even really want to know?
Probably don't.
I don't know if I want to be honest with you. I mean, normally I like listening to stories, but whatever this is, especially Mrs. Bobbitt, that may not be for me.
Oh my God.
DJ said, sorry, guys,
DJ.
got a bad Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah, hey, we totally get it, man. I mean, that's happened to me a couple of times.
I'm kind of scared now that you're going to explain this to me later, Jeremy. Oh boy, what did I get myself into now?
You should be scared.
You know what? I'm surprised. You know what you should do, Don? And this is actually someone who once did this when I had to hear the story. Someone was like, you're going to be hearing this? They would be like, watch this. They'd be like this. They were like, you're done. They were like,
Oh my God.
Joanne's having a hell of a time with this.
Nice guys, loving life.
Yeah. That's just who we are, Joanne.
Oh yeah. And yeah. So like it's there was a pretty creepy scene where she had like when the police came to her house and then to her brother's house and said that Chase was dead, and then she had to go identify him at the morgue, and then she finally sees the claw marks and is like, oh my God, Freddy's like for real now.
Right. Oh, this is what Joanne actually was trying to say. Oh, good night. Okay, I think she meant to say good night, not nice guys. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Good night, Joanne.
Yeah, she was probably using that Siri autocorrect or something or other.
You gotta love the autocorrect. I hate it too. You have a great night, Joanne.
It's the worst.
I've been trying to figure out ways of trying to shut it off, but in the case either way, Joanne, you have a great night.
Yeah. Have a good night. Ever played Skin the Cat? He's referring to that scene where Julie was killed off, and a scene that pays homage to the original Nightmare on Elm Street, where Tina's death scene. You know, where she's dragged across the ceiling.
Yeah. I remember that. Oh, that was one like you have to remember that was like one of the most. Yeah, I was gonna say that was like one of the most notorious scenes from like the original film, so I can understand why they were kind of reenacting that in that kind of manner.
Yeah, they actually made Freddy appear this time. You know, like because when Tina was killed, it seemed like she was being brought to the ceiling like upside down by an invisible force, and so what they did in this, Julie is being dragged by Freddy on the ceiling, and apparently only Dylan can see Freddy, I guess because he's in a dream, like streaming, I guess, but
or Gus, maybe he's got some psychic ability or something like that.
Well, because the nurses who were in the room seeing Julie being dragged up the ceiling couldn't see Freddy, couldn't see what was happening. It's like,
well, no. What I was going to say was they couldn't see him, but he could. That's what I'm saying. Maybe he had some type of psychic ability that allowed him to see Freddy while everyone else couldn't.
Yeah, that could be. And like I said, yeah, that's like one of the several scenes, one of the many scenes that pays homage to the first film. And like another, like that's one of the main issues, like how Freddy terrorizing Dylan like that, like keeping him awake at night, and by clawing his stuffed T-Rex, Rex.
Yeah.
Then Rex spent the rest of that movie with the claw marks on him, and and there was also that funeral scene. I should mention the funeral scene where
I remember this scene. I was hoping you would.
Yes, and where where they go for Chase's funeral, and then they have cameos from previous Nightmare on Elm Street films, including what was his name, Jusu Garcia, who played Rod Taylor in the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, who was hung in his jail cell, and then they had Tuesday Night, who had played Kristen in Nightmare on Elm Street 4.
Right.
Yeah. And how crazy would it be if Johnny Depp actually? I'm surprised they didn't get Johnny Depp to do a cameo in that scene.
I'm surprised too, because they got a lot, like so mmany of the cast and crew members, like out of everybody, they couldn't get Johnny Depp involved. Like, really? That's just like,
yeah. I mean,
I just don't know what it, because he kind of, I mean, I know he didn't play like an important role, but still, that was his debut. You would have thought that he would have wanted to be in the film that was, coming to, be in this film that was his debut.
Yeah, I mean, he makes a cameo appearance in Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare for like 10 seconds, and then he just doesn't show up in this film. Like,
I would have traded roles.
Yeah, I mean, makes me wonder: did Heather Langenkamp and Johnny Depp really stay in touch after all this time?
Oh, Jeremy's
Jeremy.
coming on.
Hey,
What's up, Jeremy?
Hi guys.
Hey.
How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Just a little tired and having to pull myself away from a Star Trek show was,
Jill.
was pretty difficult.
Hey, Jill.
Hi.
How's
Hey,
it going?
glad you're with us.
Hi, Jeremy. Hi, Nick. Don.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello, everybody out there in the audience. Thank you for joining.
Yeah. So, Jill, we've been discussing quite a bit about New Nightmare. But now that you're here, like, there was one thing I wanted to ask you. Like, since you live in California, one of the constant things in New Nightmare is the earthquakes. Since you live in California, you ever really experienced that many earthquakes?
I did a lot in Southern California. Not as much here. Like, they're near, but they're like hours away. But I lived in Oxnard near Ventura when that Northridge earthquake happened, and it was pretty big. That was a really, really big one. So I forgot what year that was, but it was we had a lot of big ones, but that was one of the biggest. And when I lived down there, and I just remember thinking like, I was sleeping and dreaming, I think. And I was like, I thought it was a dream. And so I was like, it looked like surreal because the walls looked like it was moving, and then, and like all the pictures and everything. And I just happened to fall asleep on the couch. So I thought, God, this is a crazy dream. And then next thing I know, my mom's like, everybody get underneath the doorway. And I'm like, is this real?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. It was
Jill,
crazy.
that was back in 1994 that occurred. That was the 1994 Norwich earthquake.
Yeah, me and my brother still remember it. It was really scary because it was like, I really thought I was having a nightmare, just like in the movie. Like, you feel like it feels that crazy. Like, if it, like, everything was shaking, the walls looked like it was moving. Like, it just didn't look real.
Yeah, I believe that.
Man, yeah, but crazy thing, they actually when they were showing like earthquake damage on the news in this movie, that was actually real footage of an earthquake that had happened around the same time the movie was being made.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
It might have been Norwich.
Appropriate if you think about it.
Yeah, could have been.
It wasn't January of 94.
What was really cool about the after effects of that earthquake was in their home, the earthquake created the 3 slashes down that wall.
Yeah,
right.
that too. Yeah, those. I forgot to mention that scene, like where after the after effect of the earthquake caused like cracks in the wall that looks like Freddy's razor, effect. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. The wall cracked.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And we were discussing earlier about that scene where Heather goes on a talk show, and then Robert Englund comes out in makeup and everything. I'm just like, wow. If he, it's like I'm thinking when I first saw that scene, I'm thinking, wow, if he actually does that in real life, like spending hours in a makeup chair just for a talk show, like, wow, that's dedication right there.
It is.
And like I said, he has done that.
But when you really think about it, as far as guest on any talk show goes, he probably had the best entrance of anybody else.
Yep.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
I liked how the audience was all dressed as Freddy Krueger's.
Dressing up like it was Comic-Con or something.
Yeah.
Oh man. And we were just discussing the funeral scene. We were like there were like a couple of cameos here and there about previous cast members of the Nightmare franchise, like Jisoo Garcia, who played Rod Taylor in the first film, and Tuesday Night, who played Kristen in the fourth film. Where was Johnny Depp in this? I mean, they couldn't get him to cameo for just this one scene.
I think they said that he wanted to be in it if he was asked, and they didn't ask him to be, or something like that.
That's
Oh, really?
strange. I mean, yeah, that's strange. They just had him on New Nightmare for like 10 seconds, but they couldn't just get him on this one.
Yeah, like I think he made a mention of it, like, oh well, if he would have asked me, I would have. But I think he didn't ask him because he thought he was too famous at that point, that he wouldn't be interested in it. And Johnny Depp quoted back like, "No, had he asked me, I would have, you know, like of course I would have, just because it was a good start for him."
I'm going through his filmography for right around that time, and in 93 he put out 3 movies. 94 he put out 1, and 95 he put out 3. So he was really busy that time frame. So he may not have even been able to pull away from that just to do that. Even though it would have been a 10-second cameo in the film, who knows how long it would have taken him to actually do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is like around the time where he was working with Tim Burton a lot. You know, Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah, Edward Scissorhands. He was filming, I think, in the middle of that.
Oh yeah, he also
Hands was 1990.
Yeah, I was going to say that was 90.
Yes,
Okay.
that would have been 4 years before.
Oh, it was, but yeah, but he was. I'm sure he was working with on other films with Tim Burton at that time. So, but yeah, because those guys just love working together. Seriously.
That would have been Ed Wood, Tim Burton.
Ed Wood.
Ed Wood, yes, that's the one I'm thinking of. Ed Wood, yes. And yeah, and yeah, we were just discussing earlier that Freddy not only has like a new look, you know, as far as the burns, but also a bio-organic looking razor glove that has a blade on the thumb as well. So he has 5 blades total.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
I liked how they did that, because now it's not a glove that he's wearing. This is his actual hand.
Like part of him.
Blades, yeah.
Yep. Well,
Reminiscent of the blades of Wolverine.
Very much,
Wow.
yeah.
Yep. And let's see. Oh, here. He said today is the release of Scream 6. Oh, yeah, we got to see it. Dude, we got to see that.
It's just so weird now, like seeing what's her name?
Courtney Cox.
No, not Courtney Cox. What?
Ned
No,
Campbell.
no,
Ned?
the actress. No, I'm talking about remind me, Don, the girl who plays Wednesday in the show.
And Ortega.
And
Yes. Okay. Yes. Thank
Jenna
you.
Ortega.
It's so weird to kind of go back and forth between that show and now this. She's in this movie. My mom's watching the new. Is watching Wednesday right now, as a matter of fact.
Oh, nice. And,
it's just so weird to see that she's going back and forth with all these different movies and shows.
Speaking of her, did you guys see the clip of her doing the award ceremony with that other girl? And didn't know why they were paired up together. And after they started talking, oh, now I see it.
Mm-hmm. It was funny.
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, you got to see. It's funny.
Yeah, it's great. Because it has that awkward moment as, okay, I'm standing here with you. I don't know why we need to do this. And it just becomes very apparent. Oh, now I know why I'm with you.
They're like, yeah, why did they pair us together? I don't know. Why would they? And then they say the same line together at the same time. And they're like, oh, okay, now I see why.
First in the next 7 generations of families.
Yeah, it's really dark.
It's really funny. You should check
It's
it out.
hilarious.
I think I just found it.
Yeah, it's
I'm gonna have
so
to
funny.
watch it. I'll have to watch it afterwards. But
Yeah,
well,
it's short, but it's well worth it. Very
Yeah.
Dude,
Did you
yeah, I'm
see-
excited for.
Go ahead.
Dude, I'm excited. I'm excited for to see Scream 6, and also I'm excited for Sunday because season finale of The Last of Us.
Us.
yes. Oh my God. I'm so excited. for
Jeremy,
it.
jump on board.
You gotta watch Last of Us, Jeremy.
Last
See
of
it,
Us.
man.
Where is it at?
It's
HBO
on
Max.
Yeah, HBO Max.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to that stuff.
Oh, that's right.
Get it.
Just that show alone makes it worth it.
Yeah.
Yes, Alone. I don't even watch anything else on HBO Max anymore.
So wait, Jill, I gotta ask. So you're caught up too?
Heck yeah!
Yes. Did you guys know?
I've heard it's really good, so I do want to
Good.
check it out, but I'll probably just wait till it comes
Ugh.
out.
I like so emotional thinking about it. It's
I
like
know.
there's tearjerker scenes, they're like crazy scenes. It's like, ooh,
Yeah.
mind
It's
blowing,
insane.
insane.
I'll tell you what, I'm towards the end of watching this season 4, and it's really gripping. The way that they're taking the storylines on this,
Yeah.
it's really, really good.
I gotta catch up with my Star Trek.
And by the way, guys, I almost forgot. Did you guys know that tomorrow night too? Jenna Ortega is also hosting SNL tomorrow night.
Awesome! I'm gonna record it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
remember that.
Imagine the different directions that they would probably go with her on that one.
I can picture right now they're going to do an SNL parody of Wednesday. I just
Oh,
know it. They're
yeah.
going to.
Oh, for sure, man.
I already saw some bits. I saw some bits like that are they're advertising, and there's other actors from SNL dressed as Wednesday, and she's dressed as herself. And so I'm looking forward to that skit.
I gotta see
And
this.
doing that Wednesday dance around here, and she's like, "Oh, you go."
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Don,
And
you know what we
yeah,
gotta
what
I was
Wednesday
you know, go on, and then I'll say what I was going to say. Go ahead, go on.
Okay, Wednesday is guaranteed to be the biggest Halloween costume this year. You just wait.
I
Just
believe it.
wait.
I have no doubt of that.
Morticia. Kidding.
Oh, there you go.
I'm doing Morticia still.
Don, what I was going to say was, you know what we're going to have to do since we're meeting up tomorrow night. After we watch Leprechaun, we are recording SNL tomorrow night. We're going to have to watch that tomorrow after the
For
movie.
sure.
Now, are you doing Leprechaun Tuesday, or are you going to try to do that next
Friday.
Friday?
Friday.
We should do it
We'll
Friday.
Yeah, we're covering Leprechaun. I was thinking about covering Leprechaun on Tuesday and then Leprechaun 2 on Friday, St. Patrick's Day, because because Leprechaun 2 takes place on St. Patrick's Day.
Okay, that works.
Yeah, because I know that there was a question as to whether you guys are going to be doing anything on Friday night because of it being St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
We should. We should.
We should. For sure.
Get your green drink on show.
Yeah,
And we'll
your
celebrate
Shamrock-
together.
Your Shamrock Shake.
Your Shamrock Shakes from McDonald's
Yes.
or wherever.
Well, you know what? I was actually talking to Don. I was suggesting this to Don just so that way we can kind of make this at least funner for ourselves. Is that I actually thought about having, because obviously throughout the rest of St. Patrick's Day, I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing. So I actually offered him to come over here and just do the show there, just so that way we don't have to always keep being, sit in front of our monitors all the time.
Yeah.
At least we're actually doing something.
You can still have your own separate monitors and just be in the same room. I've seen people do that. Like, do you ever like text someone that's in the same room with you and you're like, watch this part, and you're in the same room?
I don't think I've done that.
Yeah,
I'm ashamed to admit that I have.
I have.
And here's what I'm thinking:
Jeremy.
after we cover some of the Leprechaun movies, we should definitely cover The Last of Us. Spend 2 episodes covering The Last of Us.
And I have good news. I saw Megan.
You
So
did.
So we can cover Megan whenever you want. Whenever.
Right.
Have
Yeah.
the two of you guys seen Megan yet?
Yep.
We did.
Mm-hmm.
Is it good? Because I hadn't had a chance to see it yet.
Right.
Pretty good.
It's good.
Yeah. So, Jill,
I
yeah,
won't
you saw
spoil
you saw the uncut version, I believe, right? You said you were seeing it on Peacock.
Oh, I don't even know which app I watched it on. Maybe. I'm not sure.
Because Peacock is the uncut version. But yeah, we'll get into that later. But
You know what? I
so-
might have to rewatch it on Peacock because I think I watched it on Amazon Prime.
Oh,
I may have.
Oh, okay.
okay. Well, yeah. So back to New Nightmare. We were discussing before that Dylan is played by Miko Hughes, who had played Gage in Pet Cemetery. So he's played a creepy.
Really quick. It's all apparently it's been announced. January 17, 2025, Megan 2.0.
Yep.
Yeah.
I predict.
Don, tell.
I'm ready.
I know we're trying to get back into it, but tell them when I told you that night after when we watched it, because you said you tell this story.
Okay. After we saw Megan a few weeks ago, we were on the way out, and I was just like, okay, like now with that ending, they're gonna give us like a Megan 2.0. Just wait. And then we got into the car, and I was driving him home. He pulled up on his phone and said, "Oh my God, they're planning a sequel, and guess what it's called? Megan 2.0."
Who called that? Who called that?
It makes sense because it's an electronic, and that's how they usually do that, software 2.0.
Yep.
So it makes perfect sense.
Mhm.
Okay, back to New Nightmare.
Let's go back.
Let's go back.
So this interpretation of Freddy Krueger was apparently like Wes Craven like made him like a much more serious villain in this because he wanted this to be this is his idea of Freddy Krueger. He like wanted him to be like just this terrifying villain, not that comical villain that we see in the sequels. You know, like he was like the most serious in the franchise previously in parts 1 and 2. Like that's when he was like all like horror villain, wanted to scare and kill everybody. You know. But,
and I think that's why, at least for me personally, that makes this movie the best out of the entire series.
Because it returns
like,
this. It goes back to the seriousness of like how it originally started.
It does.
I like
Oh, yeah.
I like the twist to it because it's like mixing supposed reality with, you know, like the real actors, the real names, the stage.
That's the
Yes,
whole point.
Yeah,
Right.
it's an alternate reality,
Mhm.
and
I like how it also like where there was like the scene where she had to take Dylan to the hospital and for the convulsions and stuff. I like what this one cameo that was in there. There was a nurse who was giving Dylan pills. That nurse is played by Lynn Shay, who is in the Insidious movies, and also played Nancy's teacher in the first Nightmare on Elm Street. You know, when Nancy like fell asleep in class and like woke up freaked out, the teacher confronted her about it. That was Lynn Shay. Yeah,
That was her.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The
Really?
teacher.
I wouldn't even think. I would not even think that she. It makes you wonder: was she even well known at that time, back then? I mean, she did star in a lot of movies, but still, it's just like, wow, she actually had a career that goes really far back.
Well, in her role as the teacher on Nightmare on Elm Street, she had already been in the business about 10 years.
Oh, okay. All right, so she's had quite a long career.
Yeah, so she wasn't, you know, like established, but she was already building a reputable career by that point.
That's right. And so this means like if she's been in the career for 10 years since the first Nightmare on Elm Street, that means she's been in the business since 1974.
She was also in one of the I still remember this because I actually do have a copy of it. Believe it or not, she was in actually one of the direct-to-video sequels of the Amityville horror franchise. That was Amityville: A New Generation, which, ironically enough, she too plays a nurse in that movie.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Huh. Well, I'm looking over her filmography. She's had quite a few nurses roles. There's another movie in '98 called Living Out Loud, and her role is called Lisa's nurse. Amityville. She's So, and when you look at her, she looks like she would be a very believable nurse.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
Or at least somebody in the medical field, which in Insidious she is, right?
No, she's a psychic.
Okay, so she's somewhere along that line. So she's very believable in that role.
She even was it was just a cameo. I think she was a nurse in this movie too. And it was it's not as funny, but I think she was in that she made a brief cameo in that Three Stooges remake they made over 10 years ago. Took place in a hospital, and you see her briefly there. And I think she's a nurse in that too.
Oh yeah, she was into nursing nurse.
Yeah.
Nursery nurse, that's what it is.
Who
Nursery
would
nurse.
have guessed?
Hey,
I
I like
imagine-
that name though, Nursey Nurse.
Yeah. When it comes to the Three Stooges, I imagine their medical bills will be the number one thing they constantly are paying for. Like the one thing they steal money on.
Yeah. And also, I just found out here she was just recently in a movie, Ted Bundy, American Boogeyman. She's Mrs. Bundy.
Oh,
Oh, I thought it was the one that was like from a few years ago. I didn't know about this one.
This one here was 2 years ago.
Well, then it's got to be that one then.
Who plays Bundy on that one?
Chad Michael Murray.
Okay.
oh, I know who that is.
I am not familiar with him, so I'm going to go to his stuff. No, there's only a couple movies that he's been in that I've actually seen. So I am not familiar with him.
It's called The Boogeyman, huh? On the movie?
Ted Bundy, Boogeyman.
Boogeyman. Okay.
Yeah, American Boogeyman.
Okay.
And so like as Dylan's like in the hospital, like there was like constant there's several different throwbacks to the first Nightmare on Elm Street, like where she encounters this this entity that's taking the shape of Freddy, like Wes Craven had explained. Counters him in the closet, saying "miss me," and then she hits him on the head with glass, just like in the first Nightmare on Elm Street, and then claws her left arm, just like in the dream clinic. Like she wakes up with the cut on her arm, exact same spot, and then soon, like, has another nightmare and develops that gray streak of hair, just like in the first film.
Yep.
Like, so many throwbacks, it's insane.
It would
that's
also
what I
make sense too, because it would have been 10 years
Hi,
after
Chantel.
the original. Hey, Chantel from South Africa is here. Good to see you, Chantel.
Oh, hi, Chantel.
She was
I
watching
just
me.
noticed here that the original working title for New Nightmare was A Nightmare on Elm Street 7, The Ascension.
Ooh, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
that was the working title before he settled on New Nightmare.
Interesting.
The Ascension.
The Ascension. Honestly, I don't think that name would have fit well with this movie, the way that they did it. I think New Nightmare is really the right title for this.
Mhm.
It's more appropriate.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and so this
this Freddy is like one that keeps appearing in Wes Craven's mind in the film when Wes Craven plays a cameo. And Nancy meets up with him. And like it's like probably one of the most meta scenes of the entire film, where Wes Craven is saying, "Oh, I've developed this script based on my dreams, and in order to stop this this entity that has taken the form of Freddy, you're going to have to play Nancy for one last time." And then it scrolls to his computer where a script is being typed, showing exact dialogue that they just said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked how they did that, not only in that scene, but also in the very end of the scene where they were reading off those last few lines of the script. The way that he did this, the way that he wrote it, it is brilliant. I don't think there had ever been a show like that before.
No, never.
I'm going to be right back. I'll just be gone for a minute. So,
okay.
Be right back.
And
Did you? Yeah, Evan, I think I'm going to have to agree with you on that.
Ascension. Yeah, it's.
Have you talked about John Saxon being in the movie yet?
Oh yeah, I was gonna mention him. Like there was the playground scene where Dylan's playing on the playground and Nancy meets up with John Sexton to talk about how her husband Chase, how his death is affecting the family and how it's affecting Dylan.
Yeah, so and nice to see that they actually do stay in touch in like real life.
Yeah, up until his death. Because I know that John Saxon, the real John Saxon, is gone. And
then all of a sudden, throughout the movie, he became her father.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like real life just all of a sudden turned into the movie, and it was just so seamless the way that everything happened. You don't know quite when it happened. It's just there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And yeah, like fantasy is just mixing into the reality, you know, the fantasy of Nightmare on Elm Street that this entity is creating, where like she has to play Nancy one last time, and then John Saxon is Donald Thompson, Nancy's father. In the scene right before Nancy goes to confront Freddy and rescue Dylan, turns around, faces her house, which is just turned into 1428 Elm Street house.
Yep.
Man, that's insane.
It is. And I know that you talked about Tracy, the girl that played Julie. It turns out that was actually her first feature film role.
Oh yeah,
She had done TV for a couple of years before that, but this is her actual first theatrical role.
that's right.
She did good.
She did well for her first
But
time.
she didn't really do a whole lot after that, though, film wise.
She had a really good death scene.
She did. That paid homage to Tina's death scene from the first movie. Yeah. I just love the throwbacks in this.
Well,
And,
they also did the throwback with the camera angles, because in the first movie they had that camera angle where so I'm Tina's boyfriend and I'm screaming up. When they did that in New Nightmare, they had Dylan in the exact same spot screaming up.
that's right. Oh, man, I just love the details they put into this. And
Yeah,
man. And so, like, it's like in the finale, like where Nancy goes to confront this new Freddy. There was like one point where she was going up some steps and her feet kept getting stuck in them. Another throwback to the first movie where when Nancy goes up the steps and she gets her feet stuck into what the stairs turning into like some marshmallow fluff or something.
Mm-hmm.
I keep thinking cake.
Cake or something. I always thought it was like similar to marshmallow fluff.
It could be. I don't know. It's about the visually. They're about the same.
I thought it was like wet cement. I don't know, or sand. Like if you're sinking into sand.
It was something, but yeah, all the throwbacks and the recalls that they did on this movie is just so great, and they did it in a way where it wasn't being a parody of itself.
Right, that's true. Wes Craven really did this. Made everything meta. The way he did it was just brilliant.
He did it in such a great way that he wasn't making fun of everything like a lot of the other movies would do.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if it was hard for you guys to watch, but the scene where the boy is up on the top of the rocket, I could barely watch at the park. The boy that played Gage before.
In the playground scene?
Yeah, like he's like, because he wants to go to heaven or something like that. He wants to go up to see his dad. But I was like, oh my gosh, like I could barely watch that scene. How did they do that?
Yeah. Worst case scenario. Hey, Lauren's back.
Hey, Lauren. Hey, thank you for joining us again.
But I probably said this before, but Lauren, Jeremy, I'm sure we talked about, she's been a real follower for Things Network lately. It's awesome that she's been tuning into a lot of these shows.
Up on a lot of the shows lately.
I actually also recommended earlier tonight to check out Emily's show. I sent her the link, so she was also watching Emily's show.
Okay. Yeah,
Nice.
Emily's show is on at 7 or 6 o'clock for you guys.
Yep. I was watching it.
Nice.
Okay, so
Thank you, Lauren.
I'm looking through here. I'm going through some of the names. I heard you bring up Tuesday Night's name.
Mm-hmm.
Then I heard you bring someone else's name up who is not listed. Like Garcia?
Yeah.
Garcia.
He played Rod Taylor in the first movie.
Okay, for whatever reason, he's not
Hmm.
listed in this article. But they wouldn't list everybody. But they, at least on this page, they should list the ones that were in the original and brought back for this.
Yeah, that's right. And let's see, there was Bob Shea who was he's the founder of New Line Cinema. You know, he made a cameo appearance in this, asking Heather to play Nancy in an upcoming Nightmare on Elm Street sequel in the works. You know, and he was. Yeah, last time he was appeared in the previous film as that bus ticketer. You know, where John. Where John was trying to get a ticket out. Yeah, he wants a bus, and Freddie gives him a bus by the only way he knows how, plowing right into him.
Oh, look at this, Don. Oh, I knew.
Started on that one, Lauren.
Just be glad, Brett. Just be glad right now. Brad is not here.
Brad, where are you?
He's probably working.
So Lauren, Jaws poster. My dad gave that to me years ago when I was 12. This is actually the movie that inspired me to study film, Jaws. Yeah, when I was 5 years old, my dad had it on TV. And long story short, I was actually born with Asperger's syndrome, a very mild form of autism spectrum disorder. And one of the main ways that it affected me from childhood to now is I always had like a very compulsive need to watch films, and also I remember every single film I've ever seen, and it started with this.
Yeah.
So
I wish I could have that so that I could remember every single thing that I've read, because I have read almost every Stephen King book, and I'm trying so hard to remember all the early books that I've read 20 years ago.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah,
Did you see they're making a new 47 meters with the plane?
Oh my God.
I know.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was like that movie. Like it was the first one, it was good until the ending. Then the second one, it absolutely sucked. And now they're making a third one, really?
I know.
Or is it going to be called 40? Wasn't it going to be called 48 meters down this time?
Yeah.
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
37 meters down.
Yeah.
The movie is good until the ending.
Yes. And now they're making a cocaine shark.
Wait,
Yes.
what?
You saw that?
Yes. Yeah. I saw a poster. I saw a poster for that on Facebook earlier today.
He's right.
Cocaine
right.
shark.
Oh my God! Well, that didn't take them long.
Let me guess. I got to know from one of two questions. Is this
Sci-fi.
being made, that's one of them. Is it being made by Sci-Fi, or is this being made by the Asylum?
I don't know. I don't want to know. I don't even want to know. One of my grandsons is on the autism spectrum too. Oh, nice.
Yeah, she told me that last night.
Lauren, so that you know, my daughter is also autistic too.
That's right.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Don, just so you know, I'm actually going to be uploading a video that I'm going to present right at the end, right before we end the show. It actually is an association with talking about nightmares and stuff. So I actually got to enter this through my laptop. So when you see the fifth destination, it's me. Don't add it.
There it is.
Yep.
Oh, here.
Don't click it. Don't
You
click
pulled a
it.
page out of my book.
I think Lauren is laughing at the whole cocaine shark comment.
Yeah.
And then they're making meth alligator too, or meth gator, or whatever it is.
I didn't know about that.
Serious.
Yeah, meth gator, Attack of the Meth
my
Gator.
God.
I'm just like, come on.
Is there no end to this torture?
Nope.
They're really getting hooked up with the cocaine and meth.
Actually, you know what? Now having just now seen that, I can just about imagine that seeing some of these movies would make Don want to gouge his eyes out with the blade.
Yeah, but so back to New Nightmare. Let's focus. Let's see. Back to New Nightmare. So yeah, I just love how they just face this new Freddy.
to the point where like Freddy's attacking with his tongue, and then he then Dylan like stabs him in the stabs his tongue, and like he retracts it, and he like has a snake tongue now because it's forked. And
what's with the tongues? I hate the tongue scenes. I can't handle it.
I don't know. And
I mean,
They
Jill,
have gotten that in multiple movies.
no.
yeah, you probably don't want to experience. You probably don't want to experience Resident Evil then, because they got that mutant to lickers. Those monsters.
Well, Jill, I was going to
I've seen them all.
Isn't it obvious? Because you and I have watched the show The Osbournes Want to Believe. It's one of the lizard people.
The lizard people.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they did extra on this movie. It was like super long, and it was just really gross.
Yeah.
And the actress playing Nancy, or Nancy, she said that was her worst favorite scene to do for that movie because of the tongue scene.
Oh man,
him tonguing her like that.
Oh my God.
I imagine
The way that you said that.
Yeah, that didn't come out right.
Oh my God.
I think that's what she said. I'm quoting her.
Wait, Dawn, I want to go back to something that you have said before, when with the previous film they called it The Final Nightmare, but they lied.
Yeah.
In actuality, they didn't, because in this series, The Final Nightmare, Freddy really is dead. So with the new nightmare, it turns out to be a demonic form in which Wes Craven used that as inspiration to create the Nightmare on Elm Street series.
I know. I wasn't really being all that serious when I said they lied. I meant that jokingly.
It was still a lie.
I mean, I could say the same thing about what was it, Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Then they create Friday the 13th, New Beginning. They lied, and they said, "Oh, let's see, Jason Goes to Hell, Final Friday." Then there's Jason X. They lied.
They keep lying at the end.
Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah,
that too. All those things with Jason. It almost seems like they were trying to grasp at straws, but at the same time, they kept reinventing Jason throughout the series.
Mm-hmm. They did.
It's like they would just come up with brand new ideas, thinking, why didn't we think of that before?
Yeah.
They're just like, man. But yeah. So the way I like the way they killed this Freddy. Just did a Hansel and Gretel style. Just put him inside an oven, and he starts to burn up, and like resorting back to its demon form, this entity form, and
then they escape, and they end up like outside in Dylan's bedroom again, and they find the script that Wes Craven wrote. God knows how the hell that script got there, and it was anybody's guess. But they. But then it left
where Wes had left a note for Heather, which the exact words were, "Heather, thanks for having the guts to play Nancy one last time. At last, Freddy is back where he belongs. Regards, Wes." And then she reads it to Dylan like it's just a story time kind of a deal. Reading a script to it. It's like, "Hey Nancy, whatever happened to protecting your kid from all the violent content like you've been talking about like the beginning, where you were like shielded Dylan his eyes when he was on set, like whatever happened to that? I guess that's not the window.
Think about it. He literally just went through it.
Yeah.
Just went through that whole thing. So this here is just going to be a little bedtime story for him.
It's just a story.
Yeah, a bedtime story about how. Yeah, that's nice. A bedtime story that goes over how he just lost his father.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty messed up.
Now Chantel wants to bring up the Ascension.
Chantel, don't even start. The Ascension, that's what... Do not even start.
Rise of the Roaches. Yeah. Yep, Rise of the Roaches.
Nick, I got to say, in the video that I'm supposed to ignore, you keep coming in and out.
I'm almost done. It's uploading. But yeah, I know it's annoying.
No, you keep coming in and out, like you keep fading into the background from the side.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what? Let's see let's see how it looks.
I did not bring that up.
I don't see.
Ignore me.
I'm gonna mute that because I could hear it echoing.
Actually, I didn't hear an echo. Did you guys?
Yeah.
No,
Mm-mm.
I didn't hear an echo.
Yeah, I kind of did.
You probably would have, but really we should have because you had two cameras right there.
He muted.
Yeah, I muted myself. I was trying to make the other video of me, but of course that wasn't working.
Yeah. So New Nightmare. New Nightmare. I consider it a fairly worthy sequel, whatever you want to call it, continuation, alternate reality, meta. It's like, wow. It's like Wes Craven just blew my mind with this one.
How would you classify this? Because it isn't exactly a sequel. It's not a reboot. It's not a prequel. It's not a prequel. It's none of those things.
Yeah, that's right. It's like a
like a
chapter of the
standalone
franchise, but it's technically not part of that the universe of Nightmare on Elm Street. It's like
It's not part of the timeline.
no.
It's
I know.
like
Sometimes
It's
No,
a
I was
meta.
just gonna say it's more of a standalone movie more than anything.
it's a meta quill.
Yeah, metaquil.
Damn it! What the hell?
Coining that right now.
Yes.
There you go. I think I just made up. Hey Nick, I think I just made up a new word. Metaquil.
I was gonna say if that's not a real word, it is now, Don.
It is.
Yep. I just
It is
created
now.
a new word.
It's
Yes.
a medical.
Yep. Put it in. I'm calling Oxford right now to tell them put that in.
Hey,
Urban
Dave's in the
Dictionary.
house.
Now
What's up,
it's making me think of a mixture between Metamucil and Dayquil.
Meta. Meta.
Oh man. Oh my god.
I'm never gonna be able to look at that again after that.
That's the whole idea, Nick.
Nice. Oh man, but New Nightmare is fairly very unique. Cause there's not much else like it as far as a continuation of a horror saga.
But
Here's the weird thing. Its budget was $8 million and it grossed 19.8, so it more than doubled its money back. But it was the poorest performing film in the Nightmare series.
Really?
Huh.
Yeah. Even though it more than doubled its money back. And, like I said, to me, it's the best out of all of them.
I liked it.
Yeah, I consider it second best, second only to the original. The original will always have a special place in my heart.
That's fair.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But we can all agree on one thing. Nightmare on Elm Street 5 and Freddy's Dead the Final Nightmare are terrible.
No argument.
No argument there at all.
Oh, yeah. I remember we just kept changing to the subject on the fifth film because we just hated talking about it.
And you know what? Like I said before, too, I've never even seen The Final Nightmare.
you haven't?
I told you that before. I've never seen that one. That's the only one out of the entire franchise I have not seen.
Well, then you better get your ass in gear and watch this thing.
No, I don't want to watch it.
Hey,
Well,
it's here if you want it.
the thing is, Nick, yes, it may be terrible, but it's fun to watch.
Yeah, it's true. You got a point there.
Yeah. It's fun to watch, if nothing else.
Yep. You forgot the power glove. It's funny.
And not to get that.
Oh, yeah.
Though
And
it was
it's
fun to see that blonde-headed kid to have his head going up and down.
Oh, my God. Because I'd say I was just at a used game store earlier today. It was just like places I just go visit on occasionally just to see what they got. They got all kinds of old video game tech, and they had a Power Glove there.
Really?
Really?
I was surprised that that was even there. It was like one of the biggest flops in Nintendo history. And one of the biggest game flops was there too. Superman 64. Don't ever buy it. It's absolutely horrible.
There's a 64. There's a Superman 64.
Yeah, Superman 64. Yeah, don't play it. It's horrible.
Okay, which Superman is it?
It's Superman on Nintendo 64. It's
No,
Yeah,
I mean, what was it? What was it? Was it the version of it? Was it the Dean Cain version of it?
It was just like its own thing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know how to explain it. Like, where one of the main things you have to do in that game is fly through rings, and that's
Rings.
yeah. I'm like, this isn't a freaking flight simulator. This is Superman. What the hell?
That's like
so dumb.
I was gonna say that sounds so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like I'll be honest with you. Didn't play more than 10 minutes of it. I'm just like, I only played it at his friend's place, and I'm just like, okay, I'm done. I cannot freaking play this.
You don't still have it, right?
Oh God, no! I would never own that thing. I wouldn't be caught dead having one. I would not be caught dead having that in my collection.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Okay, I am looking right now here about the future of Nightmare on Elm Street. In September 19, it was announced that the film rights had reverted back to Wes Craven's estate. By November, the estate had begun work on future project pitches for a Nightmare on Elm Street project, with pitches received for both future film and potential HBO Max series, with the intent of Robert Englund reprising his role as Freddy Krueger.
Really?
So Robert Englund's coming back?
What?
Well, now keep in mind that this was November of 2019 that they made these announcements. So this is 3.5 years ago.
All right.
And they haven't made any updates since then?
Not according to this page. And keep in mind, Robert Englund is 75 years old.
Yeah, he's pretty much old for the job now.
Yeah.
As much as I hate to say it, but
Yeah, so at his age, his maneuverability is going to be very limited unless he's in great shape like Dick Van Dyke is.
yeah.
Right.
I just don't see. I mean, this is just my opinion, but I just don't see him. You know, with his age, I just don't see him really acting that role anymore because he wouldn't be able to run. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. He wouldn't be able to run. He wouldn't go as fast as like he did back in the 80s and early 90s. It's just
chances are no.
Yeah, I mean that's just my personal opinion, though.
Yeah.
So he'll probably use a double.
Yeah, I was gonna say they more than likely will have stunt doubles.
It's okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna get off this.
But realistically, a lot of people have been saying that Kevin Bacon would be a great Freddy Krueger.
Bacon.
Yeah, I think Kevin Bacon would make a great Freddy Krueger.
I can kind of see that.
Maybe.
Even though he was killed in the Friday the 13th series. It's like the victim becomes the killer in a way.
Yep.
Even though they're not connected.
Yep, he was killed by Jason's mother. He was killed by Jason's mother and is now going to play Jason's rival.
Can you imagine if he played Freddy and he like cut someone's throat or did the exact same like what happened to him with the arrow going through his neck? You imagine if he committed that same kind of murder as Freddy?
Yeah, that's
well,
crazy.
not necessarily him recreating that murder, but maybe if somebody in the dream tries to do that to him to kill him, and he says that ain't working this time.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
That would be perfect.
I'd love that. Wow.
My brother-in-law's grandmother lived to be
brother-in-law's
100. Whoa,
112.
that's
My,
amazing.
my son's great uncle lived to 104 or 105, 104 or
Wow.
105. Mhm.
Centurions, they call them.
Yep, that's right.
Kevin Bacon is 64 years old, so he doesn't have a whole lot of time left as far as being able to move around. At his age, he should still be able to move around and jump around and stuff like that, but he won't have much longer to be able to do that.
Don, didn't you say he was also going to try to make a return somehow in the movie Tremors? Didn't you say that a long time ago?
They did attempt that, but the project got scrapped.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, they released a trailer for it, but it didn't go much further than that.
Okay.
So,
Interesting.
Yeah, so that was, this was like just a few years back. Yeah, like around the 30th anniversary of Tremors.
So
Okay.
why would they release a trailer if they were going to not release the movie?
You got me. Yeah, like I don't know. They could be that a network or something. I think it was gonna be like a TV. I think it was
What,
gonna be like a
Jeremy?
TV.
You okay?
Hiccups.
just a hiccup. Didn't mean to cause panic there.
Yeah. And,
Well, boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's scare you so you can stop.
so I think that Tremors he was trying to get it to be a TV series, but maybe the network scrapped it. I guess I don't know.
I thought
Like,
they
I
made
don't
a
know.
television series of Tremors.
Didn't they just have one of their main stars die recently?
They were making another one. One of the main stars, Fred Ward.
Yeah.
Fred
Yeah,
Ward died?
Yeah,
Mhm.
he's dead.
I was gonna say I was originally gonna say I don't think he was dead, or when did he pass?
Almost a year ago.
How the hell did I miss that?
Yeah, it wasn't.
Oh, check this out.
Oh,
Shrieker Island. That's the latest Tremors movie. It was like the first Tremors movie. I think is the only one that made it into theaters. The rest were just straight to video. But Shrieker Island is the latest one. I've seen it and wasn't very impressed by it.
Okay, that's
I have
crazy.
to admit, the Cold Day in Hell one, I actually like that one.
yeah, it was all right.
Jeremy, I got to say this right now. I cannot help but notice with your bandage you have in your eye, with the light reflecting, it literally looks like you have a shining eye right now for the bandage.
No, it's like a regular Band-Aid. You got the bandage part right here in the middle, and then you got the sticky part going around it.
Yeah, oh no, it's just something like when you turn a corner, it's like it shines almost. It's like it lights up. You guys don't see that?
Yeah, I do see that. It actually kind of gives like a bluish, greenish kind of color to it.
Oh, now I see.
Someone's turning blue.
Hey,
Die.
how about this, Nick? You can be Nick of the Blue. I'll be Papa Smurf.
Smurfette.
There you go.
Who are you, Don?
Lois was Smurfette. She was blue herself earlier today on the Frighteners.
I'm the band who sings "I'm blue, da ba dee da ba da."
I like it. Blue Man, the Blue Man Group.
Blue Man Group.
Blue Man Group.
I don't want to be that blue.
Dun, 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 dun.
I got to be honest. I don't think I could be able to take enough showers to get all that blue off of me.
Oh my god.
It's like a latex.
Man,
Oh Jesus.
I don't see how those guys do it. That's Woo.
Oh man.
They have a lot of fun with it, though. Let's be honest here. You can tell they're having fun.
They do.
Oh, I know they're having fun, but think about their pores. Their body cannot breathe like that.
Yeah.
You got a
really.
point.
And you know they got to be hot underneath all of that.
Oh, I'm sure. It's because they're like wearing those long black like sweaters and sweatpants. It's just like
Yeah,
wow.
so I'll take a pass at that one.
Oh man. So
Yeah, we're gonna have to wrap this one up because
Yeah.
I gotta do some sleep soon.
You got that video ready, Nick?
Yeah, I do.
I just wanted to bring up too, before I forget again, Jenna Ortega said that she's going to play Beetlejuice too. She's going to play the daughter.
Oh yeah,
Winona Ryder's
Oh,
Winona
what?
Ryder's daughter, the character
Yes.
that Winona Ryder plays. She's going to be the mom, and
my
then
God.
Jenna Ortega is going to be her daughter.
She's
Yeah,
literally gonna be like
that's right.
the same character as Wednesday in a way. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh man.
She would actually look the part.
Yeah.
Being her daughter.
Mm-hmm. True.
I can dig it.
Yeah, I like to see it. So yeah, we're gonna wrap up this episode. So to
John,
wrap
wait,
this
the
up,
video.
what?
The video.
Okay.
I have. So it's actually something I think you guys are all gonna like because it's been a while since I've done something like this. Actually, Lauren, you may
Yes,
want to check this out before you head out. But I was thinking since we've been talking about a lot of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, I guess I decided to say to kind of end the series. I have a scary story I'd like to present. It's actually from the book Scary Stories Attributed to Terror. Once again, and believe it or not, it's actually narrated by Adam. It's a story called When I Wake Up. So hopefully it's about you guys don't mind if it goes quick, but it's a 7-minute video, but it gets intense. So I'm gonna play right now if you guys don't mind, but here it is. When I wake up, give me 1 second here. All right, here we go.
When I wake up. 8-year-old Bradley awoke in the night from a terrible dream. Frightened, he got up and climbed the little ladder to the top bunk where his brother slept, then reached around in the dark to feel for his foot. But there was no one there. Maybe he went to get a drink of water or go to the bathroom, the boy thought. Bradley decided to go to the next room to sleep in the bed with his mother and father. He went down the hall and opened his parents' door a crack, then snuck inside and carefully tried to lay down without waking them. But there was no one there to snuggle up to. The bed and the room were empty. He went to the light and flipped the switch, but nothing happened. He crept to the kitchen and tried the lights. There seemed to be no power to the house at all. Bradley peered through the curtained window to see if anyone was outside, but he could see nothing. There were no street lights on, and the neighborhood was covered in a thick, ominous fog. After standing motionless for what seemed like an eternity, Bradley called out to his parents. "Mom? Dad?" But there was no reply. No sound of footsteps or voices anywhere. It was dead silent. The boy made his way through the house, anxiously checking each room. It was completely deserted. Back in the kitchen, as the reality of being left alone in the darkness with no explanation sunk in, Bradley's mind began playing tricks on him. It was then that he thought he saw something moving in the shadows near the refrigerator. Waves of terror coursed through him. He didn't know what to do. He froze and remained motionless in the dark. After a long period of standing perfectly still, Bradley summoned the courage to rush to the front door and feel around the little hooks for the spare key to the family van. As he searched, there came a sound from behind like a chair being moved over the linoleum floor. At that moment, he found the key and immediately darted out the front door to the detached garage. Once inside, he could just barely make out the vehicle that was parked there as usual. He looked out and discovered that his father's brown sedan was also still parked in the driveway. They didn't leave, he thought in a panic. I don't understand. Where are they? Where did they go? And what was that sound in the kitchen? Bradley didn't feel safe. He knew that he couldn't go back into the house alone. He was sure he'd seen something in the darkness. So he climbed inside the backseat of the van and locked all the doors. His mind was racing, imagining the worst. His family was dead, had abandoned him, or simply disappeared. In the van, he began to feel more and more like he was being watched. He climbed under the bench seat and hid. Eventually, he fell asleep. When Bradley awoke, he found he was in his bedroom on the bottom bunk. It was all just a terrible dream, he thought. He was so disturbed by the experience that he got up, climbed the little ladder to the top where his brother slept, and then reached around in the dark to feel his brother's foot. But again, there was no one there. He ran to his parents' room. It was also empty. The house was completely deserted. The lights weren't working. The power just seemed to be out. Maybe I'm dreaming. This must all be a bad dream. When I wake up, everything will be all right. Bradley tiptoed through the dark towards the kitchen, and this time he went straight to the phone to call 911. But when he lifted the receiver and put it to his ear, he discovered the line was completely dead. Only a strange buzzing sound could be heard on the other end. Immediately after hanging up, he thought he saw something in the darkness moving towards him. In a desperate panic, Bradley bolted out the front door and ran down the street in his pajamas towards the neighbor's house. He repeatedly turned around to see if anything was following him, but nothing was there. The streetlights were dark. There seemed to be no power in the area at all. When he reached the house, the boy began pounding on the door. No one answered, so he knocked on all the windows and called out for help, but there was no response. Bradley noticed bicycles lying in the front yard. He decided to borrow the closest bike and head for his aunt and uncle's house, which was several miles away. He had never done anything like this before, but then again, nothing like this had ever happened. Bradley began pedaling frantically down the road. He could barely see anything in the darkness and the fog. There were no cars driving on the main roads, no lights on, no people anywhere. Maybe it was because it was so late at night. He rode for over an hour on the dark main roads, and the entire time saw no signs of other people. Bradley had never felt so lost and alone. When he reached his aunt and uncle's house, the boy once again pounded on the doors and the windows, but there was no one home. He climbed the fence and crawled through the dog door on the side of the house. Once inside, he searched every room, hyperventilating and in an utter panic. The rooms were all empty, and so were the beds. The phone didn't work. The lights didn't work. He was completely alone. Bradley was now hysterical and in tears, but he went silent when again he began to feel as if something was watching him. He then saw something moving in the shadows and began to hear a strange noise all around. He wanted to leave, to find a police station somewhere, anywhere. He desperately needed to find people, but he did not know where to go. He eventually hid in a bottom cupboard and stayed there. He curled up in a ball, trembling in the pitch black, hiding from the buzzing and humming sounds and from the moving shadows that were all around him. At some point, he fell asleep. When Bradley awoke, he found himself back in his bunk bed at home. He listened for his brother's breathing. There was no sound whatsoever. He somehow already knew that he was completely alone in the house, yet he felt that from the darkness, someone or something was watching him, staring at him. There were strange sounds all around, although louder and more frightening than before. Something was moving in the darkness. With tears now streaming down his face, Bradley could do nothing but cover himself with his blanket. "This is just a bad dream. Just a nightmare," he told himself. "When I wake up, everything will be all right."
How's that for a good bad dream? A story involving a nightmare.
He did a very good job doing that.
It was awesome. Yeah, that's how I discovered him, actually, because I was looking to see if anybody have ever recorded for that book, and that's where I came across Adam. And I first asked him, saying, "Are you going to be doing any more stories like this?" But then eventually he said he was only allowed to do a limited amount by Kurt Tuckfield's request. But that's when eventually I started speaking to him, and then eventually that's how he also became a co-host on Paranormal Mysteries. But yeah, he does an awesome job.
So that was hefty.
That was hefty. That was hefty.
Yeah.
I texted him, in fact, to let him know, but I think he's already asleep.
He
did good.
He did a very good job on that.
Good.
I need to start broadcasting these stories more often.
Loved
awesome.
it.
Oh, there's more to come, Jill. Actually, I'll tell since Lauren's watching, I think I should let her know this, is that hopefully the next month or two, I'm going to start broadcasting a lot of these stories on a regular basis. And I'm already working on a new audiobook project right now. It's on hold because I've been working on more of my documents. But I'll tell you, though, even while that's still being put together, there's a lot more where that came from. I've got plenty of stories to broadcast.
All right. So, yeah, we're going to wrap this up here. So, yeah, New Nightmare, definitely worth seeing if you love Freddy Krueger. And, yeah, I really, so thank you guys all for joining this. Yeah, like this is a fun movie to talk about. Yeah. So to be sure to tune in on Tuesday when we start covering the Leprechaun movies, starting with Leprechaun from the 1993 cult classic, which was also Jennifer Aniston's film debut. So thank you all for watching. Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Jill. Thank you, Jeremy, for being part of this. And stay awesome. See you guys on Tuesday. Good night.
Have a great night.
Bye.